Who is Barbara O'Neill? You may have seen her on social media. Or did you? And what does she teach about health and healing? 2 weeks ago, I was able to attend in-person meetings with Barbara. In this part 2 episode, we'll continue discussing some of what I learned.
Welcome to the Jesus People Sisterhood podcast, a place where Christian single women aged 50 plus connect. I am your host, Janine Jordan, a Christian confidence coach and leadership mentor in Alberta, Canada.
And I'm your co-host, Ellie McCormick, a Christian longevity coach and mentor in the USA. Being single women over 50, we know what it's like to feel overlooked, to have unrealized dreams, to experience the challenges of singlehood, and to be concerned about what our future will look like. We couldn't find anything online for single Christian women over 50, so we created Jesus People Sisterhood just for you, a place where sisters encourage and empower one another through the last third of life, because you are a treasure trove of wisdom and of exceedingly great value. This is an authentic community, a supportive family, with other women on the same journey where Jesus is the center of it all. Here you will find real talk, real community, and real sisters.
Join us as we discuss building relationships, whole health, and growing spiritually. We'll review helpful books and articles, chat with guest speakers, share success stories, and have some laughs along the way. So grab your favorite beverage and we'll get started.
Welcome, sisters, to this episode of the Jesus People Sisterhood podcast, the only podcast specifically for single Christian women over 50. Today, we give a shout out to our sisters in Delaware. Thank you for listening. It's a blessing to provide this podcast for free, but it does cost us to produce Jesus People Sisterhood episodes. It would be a great blessing to us that if you decide to buy a book mentioned in this podcast, you purchase it through the link in our episode show notes.
We want everyone to get to know our listeners, and so we'll be doing listener spotlight episodes from time to time. If you'd like to share your testimony or what the Lord is doing in your life currently, or if you are leading in ministry or another field and would like to tell us about that for a Jesus Sister Excelling in the Last Third episode, please contact us at support@jesuspeoplesisterhood.com. We would love to have our listeners come and share with the sisterhood. Today's episode is part 2 of our discussion on Barbara O'Neill and her health teachings. If you have not listened to part 1, we encourage you to listen to episode 67 first before listening to part 2. And now we pick up the discussion where we left off last week. So the second night, what happened there?
So the second night was all about hormones.
Oh.
So this relates to Flag, Fast Like a Girl.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that she shared that was interesting was one, that she had been on the birth control pill for like 7 years. And so as she was sharing a lot of the stuff, she'll talk about, don't take this medicine, or they'll tell you to do this. She did it the first night, probably all 3 nights.
Yep.
And it's the stuff that if you go traditional medicine, if you have this, your blood pressure's this, or your cholesterol is this, then you're to take this medication. And then she will explain why that's actually harming you, why it's not good for you. And then also their reasoning, why they tell you to do those things and how it's not correct. But it was also about not feeling guilty. She didn't want people to feel guilty because they took birth control pills, or they did the surgery, or they took the medication because they didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then she shared how she was on the pill for 7 years. And she didn't want this information to make everybody be, I'm a loser.
Right. Yeah.
Because again, the message is we have God, we can trust God, and He made our bodies to heal. So just get on the right track now.
Mm-hmm. Not too late. Yeah. Right.
So my big takeaways from Wednesday night, the second night, was pretty much she was talking about progesterone, and that's like the happy hormone.
Okay.
And that everybody, even postmenopausal women, even men, should be putting on this wild yam cream. And for women, you should do it 3 weeks out of a month and
Hmm.
then take a week off. Needless to say that they were selling that cream there. She isn't selling it. It's the people who put on the retreat, and it was sold out.
What was it?
Yeah,
And so that is that for like post, did you say post-menopausal women?
for everybody,
For
as
everybody.
long as they're an
Okay.
adult. Okay.
As long as they're an adult.
Yeah.
Wild yam cream. Hmm.
And somebody asked her about, well, what do you think about I can get this on Amazon? There's different products on there. And she said, I can't vouch for them. I can vouch for the one being sold here. Her daughters are sell it in Australia.
Oh.
But she goes like, doesn't mean that they're not good, whatever you find on Amazon. I can't tell you because
Mhm.
I don't use it and I don't know the ingredients or anything. So
Hmm. And I'm sorry, what the wild yam cream itself, what does it do?
it promotes progesterone. And
Oh.
I don't know if anybody, I remember like progesterone creams that you could get,
Hmm.
and they were made from wild yams.
Hmm. But that elevates your progesterone then, or
Yes,
okay.
yes. And see,
Okay.
progesterone is like the calming hormone.
Okay.
And so it brings happiness. That
Hmm.
is true.
And Ellie, did she say like which week, why 3 weeks out of the month and not the 1 month, like the 1 week?
Well, if you were a menstruating woman, it would be because there needs to be a time when progesterone is not dominant. Estrogen needs to come to the forefront
Hmm.
in order to have a correct menstrual cycle. I mean, that's how God made women.
Hmm.
Starts with the estrogen rises, and then it starts to go down, and then progesterone rises. And actually, Dr. Minnie would say it's just one day out of, if for a postmenopausal woman, it's just one day out of a week. You should eat a lot of carbs and
Right.
not as much protein to get progesterone to show up.
So then why would that matter with men?
Because apparently it helps men too. I mean, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to that because I'm not a
Well,
man,
yeah, no,
I'm a
okay,
man.
but yeah, just
But
wondering
she
because
did,
they don't
it
cycle
was
or yeah.
like
Hmm.
a cure-all kind of thing as far as hormonal balance and mood and all these other kind of things, which for me, I thought about mood.
Hmm. Right.
So I am going to try it.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was on the hormones, is on the
Yeah.
hormone night.
So that was on
Yeah.
the hormone night. And I'm
Yeah.
just giving you the thing that stuck out to me.
Right.
Okay. And then the third night was all about the heart.
Hmm.
And again, you hear these things that are at odds with what a traditional doctor tells you.
Hmm.
Now that I'm older, my cholesterol is higher, but according to doctors that now they would say it's high. My blood pressure is too low, according to them.
Okay.
But, a lot of people have what they call high blood pressure. And I just saw where some of these kind of myths are being debunked. So
Hmm.
she shared how, I don't remember if it's the 1950s or I don't remember the date or the time period, but 300 as a cholesterol level
Hmm.
was normal.
Oh,
Now they want it has to be under 200. And if it's like 190, it's high.
okay.
And she goes, this idea that cholesterol is bad. They came up with that idea, but there's not any proof. And then she rattled off all these different books by doctors that she read about the cholesterol con, the cholesterol myth, the cholesterol deception, people who are cardiovascular specialists who looked at the research and the studies are saying they keep blaming cholesterol for heart disease, but that there's no proof that that's true.
Well, haven't we always been told that it creates plaque in the arteries or
Right. So
something? Or
on
yeah,
that night, on the last night,
yeah.
she explains plaque. Okay, so plaque is not a clear-cut issue as far as causing cardiovascular disease. Barbara explains how she draws a picture of an artery and its walls. And the walls are lined with LDL, which is the quote bad cholesterol. And the good cholesterol, HDL, flows in the middle. And she explained that in those arteries, what happens is when we are exposed to chemicals that get in our bloodstream, of which I think we said in the menopause reset episode, there was like 87,000 more chemicals now. They're in our food, they're in our hygiene items, our toothpaste, our dishwashing, and our laundry detergent. And all those chemicals, along with heavy metals that are in fish, that are in vaccines, and mold that is growing in our homes, that all those environmental things come in into the blood vessel and they put holes in the side of the artery, excuse me. And so what happens is LDL, which lines the sides of the artery, its job is to come and plug up the holes. So it plugs up all those holes. The more holes you have, the more it has to plug up and build up. And what happens is with scar tissue, which is what happens because that's what happens when it's covering over a hole, is it's stiffer and it tends to build up. And so that's how the sides of arteries start to build up more and more. It's not the actual cholesterol level that is causing this plaque buildup. It is the environmental toxins that are causing the holes that makes LDL have to create this scar tissue, this buildup of scar tissue and hardening of the arteries because of that. So I hope that makes sense. What Barbara O'Neill said, it's kind of like when you see a fire and you claim that a fire engine caused a fire because you see a fire engine at a fire and the fire engine didn't cause the fire. It's the same thing with LDL. LDL didn't cause those holes in the artery. It's just there to fix it the best it can. And the result is, okay, you have hardening of the arteries and blocking of the arteries. And so if you are only treating the cholesterol, you're doing something to the fire truck instead of trying to prevent the fire from happening. So that's where we need to look at all the products we use and the food that, eating organic and being mindful of all the chemicals that we have in our lives and trying to limit that number.
Okay. Yeah.
But what stuck out in my mind was the lie about cholesterol. And
Okay.
he was like, cholesterol is actually very healthy for you.
Hmm.
And I had recently, even before going to this thing, was hearing the same thing. People saying they try to put you on statins.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, wasn't there also there's like good cholesterol or something, the LDH or something, and then there's
LDL is supposed
bad.
to be the
Yeah,
bad and
yeah, yeah,
HDL is the
LDL. Yeah.
good, but that's also
Not not
not
true.
not really true. Uh,
Interesting.
again, I'm saying this is what she said.
Right.
I'm not a doctor,
No, no, of course.
right? And I'm sure that there are going to be different people saying different things, different medical
Yeah.
people saying different things.
Yeah.
And then also the same thing with the blood pressure. I had just seen a story about this, that they had lowered again what they considered healthy blood pressure,
Hmm.
and that they're just coming up with these numbers, but the more they lower it, then the more people who are then considered having high blood pressure, and then the more people have to go on medication.
Hmm.
Where at decades ago, certain blood pressure was not considered high. So
So
why is
what
that?
is, yeah, yeah, I have no idea, but
Like
what is considered high now?
remember, I saw it on, I don't have it written here, but I think it went down to like, they want it to be at like 110,
Oh, okay.
which is mine, that's like my high is 110.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
But
Mm, that,
it's just
yeah.
they're micromanaging those things and saying
Hmm.
because if you don't have this, then you're going to have cardiovascular disease. But one of the things that Barbara O'Neill pointed out was that they've been saying this, they've been lowering the cholesterol and they've been lowering the blood pressure, and they're giving you this medication, and they've been doing it for decades. And she goes, has cardiovascular disease decreased?
Right.
No, it's just
Hmm.
gone higher and higher and higher. So what
Hmm.
causes it is what you eat, how you live, your lifestyle, all these
Hmm.
different things. It's not because of your cholesterol,
Right. Right. So it's a bunch of different things, internal and external. Right. Yeah.
right? And your medication is not helping you.
Hmm. Right. Again, the big pharma thing. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So overall, I would say from those meetings, again, her message was to take a natural method, to look at the Bible.
Hmm.
And she gave her book that she just wrote is called Sustain Me,
Mm.
and
Right.
it's an acronym for how to live a healthy life. And so I'd like to read what that is or give the definition.
Sure.
I think it was very, I think she's right on there. So, Sustain Me, S stands for sunshine,
Mm.
which again, we've heard a lot about people need to get their vitamin D, get their sunshine, and
Yeah.
she's against sunscreen.
Oh, okay.
That a lot of people get skin cancer from sunscreen. Now, I heard that too, like
Mm.
10 years ago.
Mm.
U stands for use of water. You need to be drinking at least 8 glasses of water a day.
Mm.
S stands for sleep. It's important to get the sleep you need. T stands for trust in, she here has says divine power, but trust in God.
Mhm.
A stands for abstaining from anything harmful, like alcohol. She doesn't think people should drink caffeine,
Okay. No caffeine. Interesting. Okay.
which, I still drink. I'm going to drink green tea because it's really good for you. And it doesn't have the effect that coffee has
Hmm.
on people. I stands for inhale fresh air.
Mm. Oh, yes.
N stands for nutrition. On the inhale part, she talks that you should learn to inhale through your nose
Mm.
because it filters the air.
Right.
And problems like sleep apnea or snoring, etc., is from mouth breathing.
Mm.
N was nutrition, which,
Mhm.
kind of a duh. M is moderation, and E is exercise.
Mm. Okay.
And the nutrition, she's telling you the same thing that we all hear. Don't eat processed foods,
Right.
eat healthy plants. She didn't tell people don't eat meat,
Oh, okay.
even though, she's plant-based. I'm sure that I'm not familiar with exactly what SDA teachings are,
Hmm.
why they don't eat meat.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
So,
not sure.
but it must be some spiritual reason. So I was surprised she didn't just say, don't eat meat.
Mm. Okay. Yeah.
But I can say that if you don't eat meat, it's very hard you have to work hard to get all the amino acids, the protein that you need.
Right. So
So,
lots of
so
beans
it's
and
just easy. I mean, for me, it's just easier to eat meat.
eat the meat. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
see.
have to eat a lot of legumes and,
Hmm.
you know, and she talked
Right.
about that, how she fixed that. She said a lot of people struggle with it, and she goes, it's that just start with eating a small amount. And she goes, and then also people just don't prepare it correctly, soaking it and cooking it for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It's made a difference too if I, Yeah, if I'm going to cook something like that. I do have one question. Did she say anything about sunshine and the early morning hours or when it was the best time to get sunshine? Because I've heard some controversy there too, the morning hours are best or like stay out in the like out of it in certain hours. Or did she mention anything about that?
She didn't talk about that. She did talk about, what do you do about not getting sunburned and she
Okay.
said that she, at the time of this, maybe the beginning when it's starting to get warm, she wears a hat, she goes out, she lies with her front to the sun for 15 minutes, she turns over her back for 15 minutes, and then she goes under the umbrella. And
Right.
then she'll do that every day, and then until she gets a tan, and then she doesn't, then she can just go out however long.
Hmm. So she didn't talk about natural sunscreen or using, I don't know, some sort
No,
of.
she was like against any kind of sunscreen.
Okay.
And I did have heard from people about that. Yeah, they thought they were putting sunscreen on to protect from skin cancer, and it's probably how they got skin cancer.
Hmm.
I mean, one of the things she talked about was all these different diseases that didn't exist before.
Okay.
Like
Like what?
like people, the number one killer is heart disease,
Right.
but people were not dying of that
Hmm.
before they started eating the kind of food that we eat and
Hmm.
living the lifestyle that we live.
Right.
And even with the sunshine, she said, people used to work outside. Now, in the wintertime, they weren't outside as much, but they were still outside. People were outside. Nowadays, people don't go outside. They don't
That's true.
get, and so they're not only are they not getting sun exposure just for skin cancer idea, but also that they're not getting vitamin D. Everybody's low in vitamin D.
hmm I've heard that. Yep. Hmm. So is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, so I explained the Sustain Me. That is her book. I did get it. And it's called Sustain Me, A Handbook of Natural Remedies, The Nine Foundational Pillars for Health. And it's really a pretty cool book, is
Hmm.
that you can look up like whatever your issue is. I have sleep issues or how to build better bones and foot problems and whatever it is. And then she
Oh,
will give you information using that Sustain Me acronym. So you have this
right.
problem, okay, for sleep, make sure you're sleeping blah, blah, blah. And under each letter, she'll be telling you what to do or not to do for that issue that you're having, whatever health issue you're having
Interesting. Oh.
to remedy, right? It's a handbook of remedies.
Hmm. And is that available any particular place?
It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
We'll put it in the show notes.
So all in all, your experience with Barbara was, it seems to be very positive and you learned some things and it enriched your practice in ways. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did. I wish that I had taken notes
Hmm.
because I was just expecting that they're going to release a video. So this place is called Evening Shade Lifestyle Retreat, and they do have a YouTube channel. And again, I'll try to put a link in the show notes
Yeah.
that there are some videos of Barbara on there. I want to say that with everybody, that doesn't mean that I agree with everything she says.
hmm
So I did see there was a video on the Lifestyle Retreat, Evening Shade Lifestyle Retreat YouTube channel where she talks about the brain, and
hmm
she didn't talk about that while I was there.
Oh,
And in it, she says, like somebody that has PTSD, and she tells a story about these children that were saved from Germany during the Holocaust
right.
or came from Auschwitz that survived.
hmm
And basically, to not have therapy where they go and talk about what happened to them, their trauma.
Okay.
And she talked about Dr. Caroline Leaf's books where she talks about how negative thoughts make you sick. Well, that's true. And there is truth to when somebody just goes to a psychiatrist or a therapist and
hmm
just relives and talks about all the negative things that have happened to them. It's just they're not going to get better. It's going to be worse at some point. But it's also not really healthy to never talk about it. I mean, you could see these guys that have PTSD and they don't talk about it and they come home from war, wherever they experience this traumatic event, and they're abusing their family, they're doing terrible stuff because it's never dealt with.
Right.
It's not a good idea to do that. There has to be a balance, I guess. So I disagreed with her
Mhm.
when she shared on that. Like, you're not allowing the person to process what happened to them. That's
Mhm.
just not healthy. So I would say that. But at the same time, I did agree with, you can't just let somebody sit there and over again wallowing in painful things that happen to them. That is going to be bad. So you have to find the balance there.
Mhm. Okay. Well, certainly an interesting time for you, and the fact that she was able to come to the US and,
Yeah.
just share her. Yeah, what an interesting opportunity. And just so glad that you shared that with us today, Ellie. And we encourage people, you sisters out there, to do your research, take a look at Barbara O'Neill's books and videos, and write and tell us what you think. We're always open to listening to you.
I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on Barbara?
Oh, well, I think that, I haven't done a lot of research. I've seen her in certain areas. I think the reason that I wanted to talk about it was because I was impressed by her stance as, as far as what I'd seen her speak about the Lord. I didn't even know she was, or she adhered to the tenets of the Seventh-day Adventist. I found her to be, she seemed to be authentic and real, and I like the idea of having different alternatives to the medicine that we have, I guess, in the traditional or what we do now. And I've known a few people, and I've got some a particular friend in my life who is looking at alternative therapies for, she's going through a cancer right now, and so I'm very interested in learning about how people are doing things differently, and why do we always have to just adhere to the norm, and what is being hidden from us, and why is there, so much money in the industry. And I mean, I don't know, here in Alberta we certainly have a lot of problems with our healthcare system, and I'm always interested in learning about how it could be better, and what kind of therapies and resources are there. And I know that alternative medicines and techniques, I think, are underfunded, and I think we should do some more funding there, and using the Bible too as a guideline. Or, there is, it says too that our Bible is something that is good for giving us information in all aspects of life. And I find it fascinating that, yeah, it's true that if we are to look more deeply into things, that there are answers where we perhaps hadn't even seen them before. So that's what I find fascinating. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. And I hope our sisters are blessed by this or their interest peaked,
Mhm.
because the main reason that people are going to her or alternative medicine is because the failure of allopathic medicine is, they give you medications, they have this protocol for treating symptoms without ever healing, dealing with the root causes of illness.
Mhm.
So I hope people will start to take responsibility for their own health, their own body, and be curious and take care of be a good steward.
Mhm.
That's my thought on that.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
Wow,
that's a wrap.
that's a wrap.
Thank you, ladies. God bless.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please share any thoughts that resonated with you from today's podcast episode in our private Facebook group at Jesus People Sisterhood Community. Start reaching out to other single women and create your local group of Jesus People Sisters. Please let us know about your group to add to our directory by contacting us at support@jesuspeoplesisterhood.com.
Have you had a good experience with a business? They've treated you honestly and helped you at a reasonable price? Please let us know. We would like to start a directory of JPS-friendly businesses. Let's care for one another.
Be blessed by him who is able to protect you from stumbling and to make you stand in the presence of his glory, blameless and with great joy. Until next time. Hey sister, before you go, thank you for listening. If you found value in today's podcast, the best way to say thank you is by leaving a 5-star written review at Apple Podcasts. That raises us in the rankings and helps other sisters find us too. And please tell a friend or post it on your social media. If you're a single Christian woman over 50, this podcast was created specifically for you. The Jesus People Sisterhood is your community to find support and friendship with other sisters who can understand. Be sure to follow us on your podcast app and join our free private Facebook group at Jesus People Sisterhood Community.
Jesus People Sisterhood has also started a private Facebook group for housing and co-living opportunities. You can check that out at Jesus People Sisterhood Senior Housing. You can also find us on Facebook at Jesus People Sisterhood and individually for Janine at riseupcoachingandconsulting.com and for Ellie at samaramountain.com. And ladies, this is the necessary disclaimer. Our podcast content is for informational purposes and does not constitute professional advice for mental health, medical, legal, financial, or other areas. The opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host. It is our heart that this podcast will be a blessing to you. Together, let's build a powerful sisterhood with Jesus. Make a friend, add a sister, across the border and around the world.